conditions in the law.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back
The
in.
contractor, the fake contractor who you've seen in our videos, he did not have a license, he screwed us.
There are rumors that your house is getting foreclosed. What do you have to say about that?
It's not true.
It's not true?
Our house is worth $16.5 million. $16.5 million. Like, I would have just put $8 million to keep a piece of shit, right? Like, what the But we just got a new house. And we're probably gonna get like 5 more houses in the next 10 years. We've done all of that and we've never had PR cover us.
Well, you might not have used PR in the past, but you're definitely trying to use it now. Spoiler alert, it fails miserably.
Ha! I knew it!
Well, it's the Ace family, so is it really a spoiler? I don't know. Anyways, Catherine's attempt at PR damage control was basically hiring Harvey Weinstein as your head of human resources. I mean, was there any possibility of this not ending in a giant mess? Of course not. So first things first, because I really tried to be a good little boy during the holidays.
When was the last time you felt this good?
This is the first time. That's how good it is.
You know, eat my veggies, spend some quality time with family, and at least for the short term, no more Ace Family videos. So I let it slide when Catherine McBroom came out with the worst possible advice to young women everywhere. Taking out your own IUD is one thing, but blasting it out to your millions of young fans around the world as if it's the best thing ever? I'm a guy and even I know this is terrible, terrible advice. But hey, at least Catherine is being consistent here, because she didn't have a construction expert to oversee her construction project, so why use a medical professional on your uterus? Now with that said, I also sidestepped this pathetic shame campaign that Austin McBroom is on by directing his fans to spam professional boxing and MMA organizations so he can pressure them into working with him, hoping that if he just keeps mentioning Showtime often enough, they will somehow come running to him.
We're partnering with a big company. Shout out to Showtime.
Thank you, Austin. I'm sure that shoutout was much appreciated by the billion-dollar company that wants absolutely nothing to do with social gloves. But hey, don't feel bad, Austin. Sometimes she's just not that into you, man. Just move on. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Ace family and the giraffe levels of shit that they're in, then please check out the 2-part series linked up here. Otherwise, the article might not make much sense. That is to say, if it makes any sense at all. Since they really went all out with the bullshit, bringing back the classics such as they were victims of a dishonest contractor, and when you don't have gas, you don't have heat, and I have 2 babies and I'm pregnant. Excellent use of the sympathy card here, Catherine. I mean, who wouldn't feel sorry for a pregnant lady with 2 babies and who doesn't have gas to heat her house, right? Oh wait, I know. People that know that this same pregnant lady rather takes private jets and spends thousands of dollars on redoing her fucking garden instead of moving her children to a safe, non-leaking and warm home.
Why the freak would I spend $40,000, $50,000 on like my gardening?
Wait, what? Is she saying 14 or 40?
I spend $40,000, $50,000.
Because both of these numbers are insane, but $40,000 on your garden when your house is leaking and not even safe to live in? That is fucking mental. Please comment down below what you think she's saying. Is it 14 or 40? Because I seriously can't tell. So anyways, this 3,000 word garbage fest really highlights the journalism excellence that the Daily Mail and in particular this writer deliver, which makes me wonder how much did Catherine pay to have this fairy tale written? It couldn't have been much, since the Ace family is not exactly known as a paying family.
Hearing from me, straight from me, the fighters will be paid before the next event.
Now the reason why I really wanted to make this video is to show you how f***ed up modern media has become, since most of you actually know this story inside out, so it's very easy to see how this writer is not verifying any information that Catherine gives her and is very eager to simply publish all these lies. Now the writer starts out with a major ass covering by stating popular YouTubers claim that they lost their $10 million mansion. She then proceeds to use quotes on the fake contractor part so that she isn't the one saying it, but it's still being said. This is so misleading since most people will simply overlook these 2 elements and just see popular YouTubers lost their $10 million mansion due to fake contractor. So in addition to covering her own ass and the paper's ass, the word claim gives off an aura of skepticism towards the interviewee, but when you read the article, there's not a single critical note in there or any follow-up questions. The writer just blindly accepts everything that Catherine McBroom has to say and then uses words as claim or she alleges and a shit ton of quotations to distance herself from everything that's being said, which is truly terrible journalism at its finest. Now I could understand writing an article like this 5 minutes after the Ace family published their Our House video, where you basically just transcribe the entire video content, but publishing this shit well over a month after the video came out, while there are tons of videos out there disproving every single statement, is just fucking awful. The writer even had the balls to call this article an exclusive. How the fuck is this an exclusive? When they literally released an hour-long video over a month ago saying the exact same thing. So even the very first word of this article is a big fat lie. But hey, it's basically written by Catherine herself, so this should come as no surprise. Now I checked out this writer Lillian Gissen to see what some of her other masterpieces are, and you don't have to search very hard to find something odd with her writing. Just look at these dates of the articles that she's posted. So here's the article of the Ace family, which is posted on December 29th of 2021 at 6:38 p.m. And then the day before that we see 6 articles in just one day, and it just keeps going if you go down further. So clearly this Lillian is just pumping out articles to feed the Google algorithm and to boost the ranking of the Daily Mail's website. So I don't care how fast you can type, there's simply no way you can do any sort of follow-up on anything you're writing when you're pumping out this many stories every single day. How likely is it that she actually had a sit down with Catherine to do a proper interview? It's highly unlikely, I would say. It seems to me that she was just told to write an article based on the Ace family video and was fed a couple of lines of new information to make it look like an interview. Shit like this is exactly the reason why so many people these days distrust the media, and it just pisses me off. Not as much as I managed to piss off the so-called manosphere community on YouTube with my last video linked up here, because the fans of these fake dating coaches,
my W in terms of having 3 women in one day. Now it sounds crazy, right?
really get triggered when you say treat women with respect. So check it out, it's a good one. But back to the Pulitzer Prize winning Lillian Gissen, since this article makes you wonder how well did she research any of her other stories, and are those also full of lies or just paid puff pieces so that people can show off how many articles are written about them and get a blue tick on Instagram. Now I'm gonna give the writer the benefit of the doubt here and say maybe she just had a bad day, running behind on her deadlines and thought, fuck it, how bad can it be? Well, Lillian, pretty bad. Because this article is so full of holes that even people that had never heard of the Ace family picked up on it in seconds. I guess she wasn't expecting her readers to have common sense or could actually read. Now the irony of this all is that the writer mentioned someone doing actual research on the Ace family, and as a result of that research, the person does not want to do business with them. But somehow this giant red flag was not reason enough for Lillian to think, hey, maybe I should follow up on some of these claims so that I don't get used to write a bullshit story. Now funny enough, the person that researched the Ace family was actually the son of their new landlord. I guess karma really is a bitch, because the son tells his dad about them and advises him not to do business with them. Naturally, Catherine said it was a false narrative about their foreclosure, and tons of Ace family diehards are defending them by going as far as denying the foreclosure altogether, saying it's just haters spreading lies. Well, listen up boys and girls, a foreclosure is not some fucking opinion, okay? It's actually a legal process that is not only registered with the city and thus publicly available, it's actually one of the most important elements that can fuck up your credit score. Foreclosures are registered in your credit report and will stay there for up to 7 years, so yeah, the Ace family is fucked for the next 7 years. Which means that Catherine's complaining about this so-called false narrative that caused people not wanting to rent to her or have her pay much more in rent is actually what happens to 100% of the people that go through foreclosure. Every experienced landlord or rental company will do a simple credit check, and when it comes back with a foreclosure on it, you are lucky if they only increase the rent or the deposit minimum, since most of them will simply deny your application. Fun fact, there's actually worse things to have in your credit report than a foreclosure. Can you guess what it is?
The landlord forwarded his credit report.
Can you read this for me? What does that say?
Terrorist.
Holy shit!
I bet you weren't thinking about this. Apparently you have to buy when you are a terrorist. You can't rent. Personally, I feel it's a bit harsh. Maybe just limit them to a studio or a one-bedroom apartment, but put them in an area without a Starbucks. That will teach them. Anyways, the only good thing that came from this article is that it's now confirmed that the Ace family had to put down 6 months rent up front, and that pretty much everyone in LA is warned about them for not paying their bills. Their new landlord was actually being very generous by giving them the benefit of the doubt, but charging them more rent and a higher deposit to protect himself. Catherine should really stop whining since she just went through a massive foreclosure and got sued for not paying her rent on her previous house. She's lucky to even be getting a new house, but hey, it's the Ace family, so what do you expect?